Hello and welcome to the Hornet Talk podcast, The Road to New York. I've got a fantastic co-hosting team with me this evening. We are joined by Owen Miles, Luke Barras and Jensen Long. Good evening, Owen. How are you? Owen, are you there?
I'm very good, mate. It has been a long 4 years, and to get to the point, we're at a World Cup yet again, and to be a repeat of 2010 Mexico Africa, obviously the iconic Shabalala goal, Bafana Bafana. Interested to see how these two will do battle yet again, and the start of what hopefully will be an incredible tournament.
Yeah, it certainly promises to be. Two debuts on the Hornet Talk podcast tonight. So we are joined by Luke Barras from the lower tiers and also Jensen Long from the lower tiers. Good evening, Luke. How are
you? I'm good. Well, as Owen says, hopefully this will be a very exciting tournament. 48 teams in there for the first time, up 16 teams from 2022. And we kick off with arguably one of the best stadiums in the whole tournament in Mexico City.
Yeah, one of the best stadiums in the FIFA World Cup, and it still baffles me as to how they did not get the final, considering how good this stadium actually is. Again, one more debut on the Hornet Talk today. So, good evening, Jensen. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this. It's been a long time since we've had any kind of international tournament. It's going to be good to watch 48 nations go at it for this World Cup. A lot of teams. It's going to be a brilliant 104 games of football all the way through to the final. And arguably, like the other two have said, this could be a showcase of what's to come throughout the entire tournament tonight.
Yes, certainly. It's going to be a really tight game tonight. And I'm going to read you through the starting 11s. Now, if you know me, my pronunciation of names isn't always the greatest. So please bear with me throughout this World Cup when we go through the starting 11s. So for Mexico in goal, we have Rangel. And then the back line, Reyes, Montes, Vasquez and Garrado. Lyra in the midfield is a 1. Then with Alvarado, Gutierrez, Fidalgo, Quinones, and Jimenez. So that was pretty good. And then for South Africa, we have Williams, Modibia, Mobkazi, Sibisi, Ocon, Adams, Sito, Mokena, Akram Reiners, and Lyle Foster. So it is going to be a very, very, very tight game of football today. So I'm going to go around the group. Owen, what's your score predictions for this opening game of the FIFA World Cup?
It's going to be a tight one. I think, opening game of the tournament, there's going to be a lot of tension. Mexico are going to want to look to get to the fifth game. They always talks about that. That's a saying in Mexico. I forgot what the saying was in Spanish. To do with getting Mexico to the fifth game, and to get there, the best bet is winning this home game and being at home, winning their group. So I'm going to go Mexico to win. I'm going to go 1-0, and I think it's going to be a Jimenez goal.
Ooh.
Well, I think a Jimenez goal is very likely, but Jimenez has been in the news a lot, considering his move back to Wolves and Rob Edwards being in the announcement video and then being sacked 24 hours later. Luke, what are your score predictions for this FIFA World Cup opening fixture?
Well, it's going to be tight, but it is important to note that in this stadium, Mexico have only lost 2 competitive games ever. Now, Mexico come into this off a 5-1 victory against Serbia, while South Africa come into it off a draw. I'm going to 2-1. I'm going Vasquez and Jimenez to score.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as I said, I think it's going to be a really, really tight game. For some reason, normally the opening game proves to be really, really exciting. So I'm going to go for a lot of goals to be scored today. I think Mexico are going to win it, but it's not going to be easy for them. I'm going to go Mexico 3, South Africa 2. Jensen, what is your score predictions for this opening fixture as the national anthems take place?
I think both sides have got footballing quality. They're both capable of delivering goals and excitement in games. And I really think this particular game, to start a World Cup, obviously it's Mexico at home, they will want to win this and they will want to start their campaign strong and try and kick on straight away with a win. And I think they will do that tonight. And I only see it being a 1-goal game. I do see Mexico winning this 1-0 for a Raul Jimenez strike.
Jimenez is going to prove to be a very, very popular figure when Mexico play their games. I just want to turn your attention to there's what looks to be their sole midfielder today, Lyra. Owen, have you seen much of Lyra?
Not really, but he's going to have to be a vocal point in that midfield, you know, being that sole central defensive midfielder in front of more of an attacking sort of 5. Or that sort of attacking 4, obviously just behind Jimenez. So I think Mexico, especially with stuff with going top, it might prove to be a mistake, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Luke, so across the whole tournament, because obviously it's the opening game today, but across the whole tournament, who do you think is going to win the whole thing?
Well, it's tough. Argentina coming to it on good form, but arguably with an aging squad, I just can't see past Spain not winning the whole thing. Like Spain coming to this off with such a good squad, and they come off with a good qualifying campaign. I just, as much as I would love England to go out and win it, I just can't see past Spain.
Yeah, I think look, Spain are going to be strong. There's no denying that. The way that they've been growing the players is ridiculous.
Oh, I believe Caden has lost internet.
Yeah, Caden's had some technical difficulties, and apologies for that. He'll get on in a moment. But yeah, like he was saying, I agree with him. I think Spain are my favourites to win the tournament. I think it's just they're too good in my eyes. I see them going far, and I see them winning the tournament. But we'll see how that goes. While we were talking, obviously we had the national anthems. I don't know when we were talking, you looking, but what's your sort of thoughts on this new idea that FIFA have had, where they're sort of getting everyone involved, the substitutes, and all being around the central circle? I think it's quite a novel idea myself, but Jensen, what's your sort of opinion on that?
I think it kind of shows. I mean, in my eyes, it's a good idea. I'll start by saying that. I think it's ideal because it allows the substitutes to have that connection with the team as well. Whereas normally you just see the starting 11. I mean, we're seeing now 5 referees there in the middle of the park as well, and it kind of shows that this World Cup is more about togetherness than the football. It's more about the people, and I think the people that have got everyone to this World Cup deserve to be involved, and the players, particularly those that have been selected, deserve to be around the centre circle. So I think it's a brilliant idea, and I think to represent your country at this level is brilliant, and especially to be in the centre circle at the start of the game, even if you're on the bench, shows how important you are to your country and to your team, in my eyes.
Yeah. What about you, Luke? Obviously, like you say, it's quite an interesting thing that FIFA have done. Obviously, there's been some controversy at this World Cup and stuff that people think that they shouldn't have done, and you know everything's gone on at this World Cup. But I think that's an idea that's really gone down well.
Certainly, I think, as Jensen mentions, the connection between each of these teams is so important. You know, they've come so far through qualification, and arguably they deserve to celebrate this moment, whether it be for free games or whether they negotiate.
I think as we now head on, they're just doing the coin tosses. We've all set up predictions, but I mean, it's going to be a long tournament. We know how long this process is now. We say 104 games, 48 teams. But like we're talking about, obviously the venues. We knew America were probably going to host it, even though the Azteca should have, I think, hosted the final. Apologies, Luke's had some technical issues himself. But definitely, an idea I think they should have had would be to, if you're going to have the final in America at the New York Stadium, New Jersey or MetLife, that you were going to have that you would have the two semifinals in Canada, one semifinal in Canada, one in Mexico. But obviously, this is not the case. I think they're holding them, I believe, in Boston. I think one of them. I need to double check that, but yeah,
I think that is correct. I think that's correct. One's in Boston. I can't remember where the other one is.
But yeah, just for me, I think that's what should have been. But there we go. I think it's probably the case if USA have pumped more money, which means they get the say. But we're just doing their final huddles as we look to get going. Put down, see if you are here. Put down in the comments if you're what your predictions are for the game and what you think will happen as we head towards kickoff here in Mexico City. So it looks like it will be Mexico to kick off. Obviously, you won't do a proper commentary. You've got Alan McCoy and John Champion for that, which should be good.
Indeed. What I will say is, just before we start, I will highlight the man in the middle. The last time he was at a World Cup was controversial. He was England v France official, and obviously we all know what happened in that game as Caden rejoins us.
Yeah.
We all know what happened in that game between England and France, and I think the eyes will be on the referee.
Hello.
He does. Hello, Caden. Welcome back.
Am I here? Can you all hear me? I've had a lot of technical faults. Hopefully this holds out.
Luke has gone as well. He's experiencing similar.
Okay, fine. I'll get that sorted. So we have kickoff opening game at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Mexico have kicked off the game. They are, it looks like, playing a 4 at the back, but that may morph into something different because we know that sometimes they like to play with a 3. And it looks like that South Africa are being very, very defensive, sitting in what looks like a 5 at the back. But again, it probably will morph into a 4.
Yeah, he's gone again.
He's gone again. Well, I would say on the point he developed there with Mexico playing a 3, they are already in their 3 back. We've only played a minute. Obviously, they've been in possession because they had kickoff, but they are already in a back 3. I think it's the right back pushing up and moving his way forwards for them. Reyes, who's pushing himself up the park there. Mexico trying to find their way forwards, but South Africa have set up with a low block out of possession by the looks of things.
Yeah. I mean, also, I think for me, if, like you say, it will be a tight game and Mexico are struggling, I mean, I think the option will be someone that will definitely be an impact in this tournament. If he comes on, he'll be the youngest ever player to play for Mexico at a World Cup, and that's Gilberto Mora, who's only 17, and he's playing at a World Cup. How mental is that? I mean, you're looking at Lamine Yamal, he was 18. He's 18 going into this tournament. I think Bellingham was 18 in Qatar. But he seems to be Mexico's next biggest hope because the squad is very, as the ball goes out of play there, a bit of a rush clearance on the South Africa goalkeeper. But he seemed, with a lot of the Mexican talent being a bit older and a bit more experienced, but not as much that youthfulness that Morris will look to bring. As looks like Mexico have a free kick in around the about 40 yards.
Yeah, good chance here for them.
They could win the ball though. A lot of South Africa's team are actually based, mainly actually play. A lot of them play for Malura Sundowns, which is Africa's top team. They won the African Champions League, I believe, this season. But they have got some players that you guys will know. One of them being Foster, Lion Foster, who's obviously plays. Lyle Foster, who plays for Burnley, or does. I think he might be leaving in the summer. But mainly players that are playing in South Africa. As the ball goes in, as it goes did he go there?
I'm not sure.
I think he went for goal.
To look at the replay. Yeah, I'll have to look at the replay on that. Did look like he went for goal, didn't it?
Yeah,
I think he went for goal. To be fair. Hang on,
I mean, it'd be a hell of a way to start World Cup as a long throw goes in here. Looks the ball, it's there, cross into the box. Great opportunity. What a great save.
Looking back at that free kick quickly, he did go for goal.
Yeah,
it was a shot on goal. I think that will count. It's just not been hit correctly. It's
Jimenez there though. What decent half volley.
Save, by the way.
Good save there from the South Africa keeper.
That's a really good save.
The ball goes in. Another ball in the box that's seemingly still not cut back. Struggling to play here. Still struggling to clear. Oh no, but they're coming counter.
Luke has made it back with us.
He shifts it. Always could be an opportunity. Oh no. Think went for the run ball there. Hi, Luke.
Yes, I'm back. Finally. I do think that Mexico will have quite a large percent of the possession here, to be honest. And I think the early stages do kind of suggest that in a way. Very Mexico heavy.
Yeah. But the thing is, Mexico aren't the greatest with the ball. I mean, I watched a lot of their last year. I watched their World Cup performances, and they really struggled really when they were on the ball. When they had a majority of the ball, like they're more comfortable being that team that sits back. You know, when they're playing teams like the US, Canada, and when they win Copa America as well. So it'd be interesting to see, like you say, how they are with the ball in the majority of the ball with them. But yeah, it's been a right start. Svafk obviously looked to be on the counter attack, missed up there, but really already we had an absolutely brilliant chance there from Mexico. Raul Jimenez nearly getting the first goal of this year's World Cup, but just a good save there from it was a good save from Williams there, which is what we want to see, which is good.
What I will bring up is Mexico have been in possession more and they've taken their time. They're bringing it slowly forwards, but South Africa, especially on when the ball came in from the set piece after Williams saved Jimenez's shot, South Africa counted so quickly. They were up the pitch in 10 seconds maximum. And that just shows the dangers they pose against a team like Mexico who have started strongly on the ball. But Mexico just weren't back in numbers, and that could prove to be a point where South Africa do exploit tonight, I feel.
Yeah, I think they did leave two up top there, corner. The only problem was that it did take South Africa about five times to clear the ball out, which could prove problems. Is that nerves? We will come to see that.
It could be nerves. It very much could be nerves. That's for sure.
Potentially, they are playing in front of a very packed Mexico City Stadium.
I think for me, though, like this is
it's quite interesting.
Sorry, Luke.
Good press there from Jimenez.
It's quite interesting to note that South Africa have never made it to a knockout stage ever.
Yeah. They were very close back in 2010. Did beat France. That French team was very tumultuous. I think there's a documentary on Netflix if you want to watch that about how bad that France team was. But and they had a good tournament. And if they get the 4 points that they got in 2010, they would go through, I imagine, in this new format. So, but this team probably isn't as good as 2010's, in my opinion, anyway. But there's an opportunity here. And there's a goal. So the ball was given away there. Alex from Mexico. They open the scoring in this World Cup. And I forgot the name of the guy that scored.
Quinones.
Perez, but a brilliant goal from him. And that opens the scoring for Mexico. It just looked to be terrible defending. Just a heavy touch from the defender, and even it's gone. I believe it's gone through the keeper's legs as well. It's a horrific miss there. Just horrific from all angles from South Africa. Not a good way to start a World Cup campaign.
Certainly a very poor giveaway.
Yeah, like I said, Mexico have been pressing strong. Jimenez showed it at points. So that straight through the keeper's legs. Oh dear. But South Africa just haven't responded to this press Mexico put on in the first 9 minutes well at all. They've looked very, very nerved when they're being pressed by Jimenez, especially, but also the Mexico wingers. And obviously, it's shown now as Quinones has just got a goal. But really, Mexico have started the brighter, and it's been a good start. And to be fair, they deserve the goal on the basis of playing the first 10 minutes. They really do.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and South Africa.
Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, Caden, I can hear you fine.
We're back. Hopefully this is back. Has there been anything controversial since I've been gone trying to figure this out?
No, all I've seen is a rash challenge in there. Player, but that's
was it? Do you think it was binkering on a yellow, or do you think it's just a foul?
I think it's just reckless. It's what we classify as referees as reckless. There's not reckless. Sorry, reckless is careless. It's just a little slip of the foot. Really, he's gone to lunge for the ball. He's not meant any harm. I think you get away there without giving a card. But otherwise, yeah. I'll tell you what I will say about the referee.
I think you've got to give a bit.
Especially.
Go on.
What I will say about the referee quickly is he's been very much on the whistle, and he's kind of stopped the game for his pace. So it feels like it's been a bit slow on restarts. I will add that into the mix quickly.
I think you've got as a referee, I think you have to kind of give more leeway at big tournaments like the World Cup. You can't always be like every you have to blow your whistle. No, you've got to let the play flow as much as possible, because 1, it's a spectacle. 2, we want the best games possible. 3, we don't want red cards. So I think referees have to let a lot go in big World Cup games, even if it's, I don't know, even if it's, 2 nations who aren't going to get past the group stages. Still, the threshold has to be high. Because otherwise you're ruining games. You're ruining a lot of games by the threshold being low. So I don't want to see I don't want to see red cards in this tournament, because that will just ruin. Because as soon as you get a red card, the game normally is ruined. Luke, how Mexico started in this opening 13 minutes? Luke, are you with us?
Yeah. I believe so.
Luke, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
There we go. Right. I think we can.
Done.
Yeah. How have Mexico been in this opening 13 minutes of this World Cup?
Very. They're wanting to get, I'd say, quite heavily. Very high possession. Whenever they get the ball, they're looking to go forward with it, I would say as well. I would say they've taken their chance.
Yeah.
But it could have very easily been 2 if Raul Jimenez had put that chance in the net early on. You know, I think the next goal in this game is absolutely crucial. If South Africa get it, they have a chance to get something out of this game. If Mexico get it, I think it's game over.
Yeah. I Mexico get the goal, it's game over. If South Africa get the goal, then it throws a spanner in the works and it keeps the game open. I think if South Africa are going to score today, it will probably be through Lyle Foster, because we know that he's a bagsman. We know, he's not a crap striker. He knows where the net is. So I think if anyone's going to Mexico today, it'll be him, or it'll be Lyra from a corner, and the ball just comes out box, and then it's just a worldy strike into the top corner. That's the Mexico way, essentially. But yeah, Jensen, how do you think South Africa are going to fare in this World Cup overall? Do you think that they're going to be out in the group stages, or do you think they're going to put a bit more of a fight up? I
mean, what I've seen in the first 15 minutes nearly now, as Mexico players gone down there in some pain. What I've seen in the first 15 minutes, they've looked poor. I think they've had 1 or 2 good chances on the counter-attack, but since Mexico have gone ahead, they've kind of just been scrappy. It's them trying to play long ball football, and it's not worked. They kind of need to get back into the rhythm they had of letting Mexico have possession, and then when they get possession, they transition quickly, because they haven't done that since the goal. And for me, that's where they need to kind of, if they're going to get goals in this tournament, it's going to be counter-attacking against teams, because as that is a foul. They've got the defensive capabilities to keep teams at bay, obviously with their 5-back when they're out of possession. They just have to be able to counter-attack, and they have to be able to use their attacking talent of Lyle Foster, for example, to get goals from fast breaks, from fast counter-attacks. And I think they're capable of doing it. But from what I've seen so far, it looks like a side who may, at most, barely make it into the round of 32 that we have this year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously it is a bigger tournament this year. Do you think that means that there's going to be more open chances for smaller countries like in this tournament, like South Africa, like Haiti, to get into the round of 32, Jensen?
Well, I think if those smaller countries, as you said, play well and they show up and they show the world what they're about, then they have every right to be in the round of 32. There's no problem with them being in the round of 32. As the referee's pulled out a card, that's early for a card. I think smaller countries have got more of a chance.
That's a harsh yellow to give.
Smaller countries have got a chance.
That's early on.
In my eyes.
Yeah.
With 32 teams being able to go through to knockouts, I think that's not even a foul, really, is it? Come on. There is chance, and a team like South Africa could maybe have a slow first game, and then they could pick it up in their second 2 games, and they could easily come away second in this group. And then they could push on, and they could get through to knockouts. Smaller countries will have that chance. They just have to turn up and play. That's all they can do, and that's all they should do in this tournament.
Yeah, and do you think there's going to be a certain formula that teams like smaller countries will have to follow by to even stand a chance of that? Do you think they've got to sit in a 5 at the back, or what do you? Do they just play their normal formation and then just counter them? What do you think, Jensen?
I think obviously, if you're playing against a team like Mexico, have shown so far that they've been very in control of possession and they've spent a lot of time on the ball, whereas South Africa have had to sit back. They've had to play a low block. They've kind of tried to keep Mexico in their third and the middle third with the ball. They've not let them forwards often. Smaller countries are going to have to let their opponents play with the ball. It's what the thing is of being a smaller country is you've probably not got the natural talent and ability to be able to press a side that are going to keep the ball for 70 minutes out of a 90-minute game. You have to defend well, and then you have to counter quickly. And smaller countries this year, with the pace and the ability of the World Cup, I think every country's got their own talents. And I believe that counter-attacking will be the way forwards for smaller countries. However, I could say this, and there could be countries that go out there and play a 3-4-2-1, for example, and try and play high for most of the game. It could be against what I'm kind of saying, but most countries that are of smaller size and smaller FIFA ranking will probably play counter-attacking, low-block defensive football this tournament.
Yeah, that was a very, very good from Mexico there. Just slightly a bit too wide. Hit the steward, which the Mexico fans absolutely loved. Luke, do you think that Mexico, out of the host countries, Mexico will get the furthest out of the three?
It's hard to say. I think each of the host countries has talented players. I mean, you look at the USA and you have Pulisic, and you look at Canada and you have someone like Jonathan David who can really attack, can really provide that threat. I think if Mexico put it together correctly and they bring themselves into games, I think under their manager they can really play the football and they can really put a deep run into this tournament like they did in 1970, like they did in 1986. But if they can't find their own style of football, and if they can't find the freedom to play that football, I could really see them going out pretty early on, as early as the round of 32, to be honest.
Yeah. And Owen, what about you? Do you think Mexico are going to get the furthest tournament out of the host nations?
It's going to be, like Luke said, it's going to be very interesting and I think tough to predict between the three because, like you said, Canada, you've got Jonathan David, you've got Alfonso Davis. Whilst America, you've got McKennie, Pulisic. Whilst, for me, I think Mexico, probably have the most home advantage because the games in Mexico City, especially at the Azteca, your elevation change, the humidity, the climate is on a much higher level and a much more of an advantage. That's why, like, in our predictions, I said England get to last 16 and lose to Mexico. I think Mexico are going to get to the quarterfinals. They're going to finally break what they call the Quinto Partido, which is that they've not reached that quarterfinal, that elusive fifth game since 86, since Mexico last time they played here in Mexico. So I think it will be Mexico. That's my prediction. I think the US will go out around round of 16, and I think Canada will be out round of 32. I think Mexico will get into the quarterfinals this time around. That's what I think.
Yeah. And also just on the pitches at this World Cup, obviously, saw some of the images of the pitches and the corner flags over the last couple of days. I mean, the corner flags look like school football corner flags, as me and Jensen will know very well over the last couple of years. And yeah, it just doesn't seem like they should be World Cup pitches. World Cup shouldn't even be in America. It shouldn't even be there, but it is. And
yeah,
going to be a very, very good tournament. Well done, referee. That's not a foul. Oh no, they're going back for the foul now because the South African player is milking it, and it's a yellow card. So I'm trying to get his number. 22, I think it is. 26. Gutierrez.
I would like to mention there's a handball call there for a penalty. just prior to that, in the previous phase, there was a
Okay.
handball called by a South Africa player.
That's right. That's why the yellow card's given.
There we go. Here's the penalty shout. They've not shown it to us. But I think you're right. I think there's an opportunity here for South Africa, by the way. I think this, if they're going to have any chance of getting a goal here, I think it'd be from set pieces.
Yeah.
So
It all depends. If they can load all the height into the box, then they've got a chance. But if they're just going to be conservative on set pieces, then they're not going to be able to do anything at this World Cup. I think set pieces are going to be a lot of people's best friends through so effective in the Premier League last year. A main reason why Arsenal came out as champions. And I think there's a lot more set pieces scored now. And as I say, if South Africa have got getting further in the group stages, they're going to have to rely on and get really, really comfortable with set piece situations, whether that's a free kick, a penalty, anything like that. They need to be comfortable with it and take any chance that they can get to progress to the next round, being the round of 32. Go on, Owen.
yeah, I think, like you say, I think a lot because as we get into the hydration break, by the way, we in this tournament now in the group stages, 3 points will most likely be enough. We think 4 points are basically guaranteed. 3, you're looking like you're going to be good with a decent goal difference. So realistically, all you need is a decent win, and you're basically you should be through. That to the likes of you, Scotland, you know those sort of teams that maybe will finish third and have a team that they think they could beat, like a Haiti. It's coming for someone obviously doing research in Scotland. It could be really interesting to see if Scotland never got out of a group before in their history. So definitely for these sort of teams that are looking like smaller sides, it also will mean there won't be really any dead rubbers in the group stages, because if 3 points is enough to get yourself through third place, then those games that like had nothing towards them, or teams they didn't have anything to play for going into the last game, they could this time around. So that could make the end of the group stages a little bit more interesting than some of those dead rubber games, which should be a lot of fun.
While the hydration break is still happening, I just want to go back on one of your points. You mentioned Haiti and Scotland and the points thing. So for me, and I know a lot of it is controversial, but you know, when is it not? When it's me, I do think that Haiti have got a massive chance of in the group. Now, I think they will get a win against Scotland. It's not going to be a pretty win. It's not going to be like Haiti rule the roost and it'd be 3-0 Haiti and that's that. It'll be like a 1-0 Haiti win. And then I say all they've got to do is simple, but it's not simple considering the teams they have to play. If they play their cards right, if they sit in a 5-back and just counter against or Morocco, then I think they go through. They just need to be careful of the goal difference tallies. But I do think Haiti have got a massive going through. I don't think Scotland have got it in them to qualify for the round of 32 this time around. I don't think necessarily we ever will see them in the round of 32 unless they have a golden age.
I mean, I hope so. I'm going to be up at 2 in the morning watching the game, so I really hope we get that. But I think this is Scotland's generation. I think you're looking at our midfield: Scott McTominay, John McGinn, in Ben Gannon Doak. You know, even Finley Curtis. Yes, there's a bit of difference in defence, goalkeeping options. There's not the greatest, but my hot take in this one here, Scotland will finish second, and they will get a point off
Ooh.
Brazil or Morocco. They or even beat one of them, because I think a lot of people are writing off Scotland, and Scotland do the best when there's pressure, when there's no pressure on them, and teams, and they're not expected to do well. You look at when Scotland beat Spain; they took Spain in Euro 2024 qualifying. They're the only team to beat Spain throughout the entirety of the tournament, the qualifiers, and the finals. They beat Denmark at home. No one expects them to do that in World Cup 2022 qualifying and here in World Cup 2026. That's what, obviously, I limit bias myself, but Scotland have this tendency to overperform when's necessary. Yes, they have struggled in finals tournaments, but now they have got that experience now, these last two European Championships. I think they're going to have a great chance of getting through themselves here.
Yeah, I think that group specifically is the. If you watch any group at the World Cup, like really, really closely, that's not England, that's the group. Because you've got two massive teams. Here come Mexico. Mexico shot, blocked, and South Africa see it out. You've got a lot of big teams in that group. You have got Brazil and Morocco as well as Scotland. Brazil, I think that obviously they will go through, but I don't know how well they're going to do this World Cup. I don't think they're going to do as good as some people may suggest. Ball in from Mexico by the South African goalkeeper. I think some people are saying that, oh, Brazil, you're going to get to the quarterfinals or the semi-finals or even the final. I just don't. I think is going to go to the final is in that group, that being Morocco. I think Morocco are going to get to that World Cup final, and they have got a massive chance of winning the whole thing. And I'm not even exaggerating. They have got a massive chance to win the whole thing. I think the final will be Argentina, Morocco, or Spain, Morocco, and Morocco will pull through. Now, it might be biased because one of our team here at the Hornet Talk is a Morocco fan. He's from Morocco, loves them dearly. But I've watched their team a lot. I've done a lot of analysis on the Moroccan players, and they look to be a force to be reckoned with. I think they are better than what they were in 2022. In 2022, they got to the semi-final. So if they're better, that normally means they should go to the final. So I think they're nailed on. Luke, how do you see Morocco doing this World Cup? Do you see them going as far as I'm saying and getting to the final?
Well, they have to get out of the group first, which they should do. But you can never tell with a group that has both Scotland and Brazil in. If they get into the knockout stages, I think they should comfortably get through the round of 32, the round of 16. But the quarterfinals is where the challenges will start to face them. Now, they could go to the final, but I think there's teams better than Morocco there. They could do a Croatia 2018 kind of thing, underestimated team that makes it to the final and loses out. But I think quarterfinals would be a realistic expectation for Morocco this year.
And Jensen, what do you think? Where do you see Morocco place in this World Cup?
I think looking at their group, I actually see them coming second. I see Scotland coming third in their group, and I see Morocco going through. Round of 32, they'll be fine. They've got the capabilities. Round of 16, I think they'll be fine, unless they get an absolutely really challenging draw there, depending on what comes through in terms of results. I think where they might find a stumbling block is the quarterfinals. And then if they get through the quarterfinals, I think where they will hit their real issue is the semis. I see them going similar to 2022, and I see Morocco, despite them having a really good team, a team with ambition, a team with, for me, a team with hope, and a team with the potential to, like you say, do really well at this World Cup, Caden. I think, for me, they don't get to the final, in my eyes, purely because of the quality that's elsewhere in this tournament. And I see it being semi-finals again for Morocco in this one.
Go ahead, Luke.
I'm looking at the knockout stages set up, and if Morocco finished second in Group C, they would actually first in Group F. Now, that could be one of the Netherlands or Sweden. And I think that is actually a very tough round of 32 fixture to get through.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you do question, if they do come second in Group C, is there a risk of them going out in the round of 32?
Yeah.
I don't see it. No. I really don't see. Go on.
For me, I think a lot depends on, because Sweden are a bit of an unknown quantity. You know, they got through qualifying without a win. No wins in the qualification process. Got through through the playoffs with a new manager in Graham Potter. We've not really seen much. Alexander Isak's not even really played for Sweden this sort of year due to the injury he suffered, the broken leg. So for me, they are a bit of an unknown quantity. So they could be the surprise package of this World Cup. And like you say, they could fall.
Mexico come in the box. Saved by the keeper. Good save. Yeah. Good stop.
Yeah. They could fall.
Apart
they
from,
could fall. So
yeah. I don't see it, but it could happen. That was a really, really good play from Mexico. Just a slip ball through, a ball across the box, and the keeper just about got there. Struggled a little bit, but he got there in the end. So it is still Mexico 1, South Africa 0 here in Mexico City. It's apart from the goal, I would say it's been a pretty equal contest so far, which you'd hope to expect, given it is a World Cup, and anything can happen. Pidge in the chat says the Germans will at least get quarters. Well, I'm sorry, mate, but if you saw the predictions that we put out on Monday, I didn't predict Germany to do quite well. I think they will be the early shock exit from the World Cup. I think they might go out in the round of 32, and that will be done. I've heard some people thinking that they'll get semi-finals. I just really don't see it. I know you wanted to chime in there, Luke. So what did you want to say, mate?
Yeah, I'm looking at the group stage and Group E, which Germany is in, and if they get through there on top, which they should do, unless the Ivory Coast pit them to it, they will verse a third-place team in the round of 32, and that'll be in Boston. So it's quite interesting to look at that. And then if they got through that round of 32 clash, and they'd either first whoever came first in Group I or another third-place team. So it's interesting to look at their potential run should they get through that group stage on top of the group. If they finish second, it makes it more difficult.
Yeah, and again, Pidge in the chat says
the group stage.
Go on. Pidge in the chat says, if you watch German football, which I do, and I'm a BVB follower, Borussia Dortmund, for years, they have an awesome midfield. Schlotterbeck is also a world-class midfielder, world-class defender. I think Schlotterbeck is very, very good. I don't know if I'd go as far as world-class, to be honest, but he is still a very, very good defender. South Africa just trying to control the possession here, just taking the sting out of the game from the little bit of pressure that Mexico posed. Just on Mexico quickly about the goalkeeper situation. They haven't started Ocha in this game. They've instead opted for, I believe, what should, in theory, be their backup goalkeeper. And this will be, most likely, the last World Cup for Ocha. Jensen, do you think it's harsh isn't starting the World Cup?
I do. For someone of his quality and his standard and his experience, it's harsh. It's weird in a way. And if you go into a World Cup thinking you've got a goalkeeper like that sat on your bench and you'd rather use a backup goalkeeper instead, I find it a very weird decision. It may be he's using the Mexico manager is using this game as chance. That's a late tackle again. Is using this game as a chance to see if the backup goalkeeper is capable of playing in games. I hope that is the case, because someone of Ochoa's quality should be starting every World Cup game.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jensen, but we have got some breaking news in the last 20 minutes surrounding Japan. Wataru Endo has withdrawn from Japan's World Cup squad due to injury and has subsequently announced his retirement from international football. So some sad news coming out of the Japanese camp here at this World Cup. A crucial part of the midfield for Japan, so it is sad to see Endo not be able to compete in this FIFA World Cup in America. Going off today's game, the supercomputer has predicted Mexico to be victorious and win this game 3-1, which, you know, could in theory happen. But from the opening stage, I think it's going to be a lot closer, and I think it might be closer to what Jensen said earlier on about it being a one-goal game, and whoever scores first will win the game. Which I think from the opening 40 minutes is very much likely. Just a bit of a tussle in the midfield. The referee letting a lot more go since he set the standard with those yellow cards. There hasn't been a lot of fouls committed since. Well, picked up on by the referee. And Mexico just playing a really, really nice brand of football here, snuffed out by the South African defender. That's it again. So they lose. Then as soon as they lose possession, they're at it. They've got the ball back. Number 18. Sorry, I struggle with their names for foreign teams, so please bear with me today. Mexico just popping it round, playing the possession football. Cross trying to get an in-swinger. Not counted. Brilliant touch. Brilliant ball in the box. Great save from the South African goalkeeper. Brilliant save. It was a ball over the top. Raul Jimenez, it was like a stood up, trying to stand up and do like a scorpion kind of thing. But just about saved by the South African goalkeeper. Really, really good start to the game for him, apart from the conceded goal. Hasn't let anything go out, or not really sent it out for a corner either. So a good start to his World Cup campaign, even though his team are one goal down. Here come Mexico again. Shots deflected off the South African goalkeeper, and here they come. Mexico off the bar, and South Africa are really, really struggling to keep Mexico out here, and South Africa keep hold of the ball, and Mexico have won it back. South Africa cannot hold the ball, and the referee pulled up for a foul. Oh, that was a mouthful. Well, this is the World Cup, ladies and gents.
I just want to go back to the Rangel situation.
Go on.
I mean, Rangel's kept 2 clean sheets in his last 3 games for Mexico, and he played the full 90 minutes when Mexico versus Serbia. So, I mean, we do have to question, does the Mexico manager view Rangel as a consistent starter and, as almost a backup for the tournament?
Yeah.
Or will it take a mistake from Rangel to even give him a chance?
Well, I think
Go on.
Yeah, I think. Well, originally the trial wasn't even supposed to come to this World Cup. It was an injury to Mexico's number one keeper that brought him in. So he's not really been the number one keeper, but he's definitely probably their backup. And we know what he can do at the World Cup. You see that 2014, 2018. We know what he did. I always go back to 2014 and that game against Brazil, where literally nothing could get
There's a
past
shout
him.
for handball here. I don't think the referee's going to pull up on it, and it's going to go out for a corner. But that did look a little bit like a handball. Jensen, did you manage to catch that bit?
I did. I think it's not in the box, so it's not really affected. Looking at it, he's jumped up, his arms are up. You could say it's a free kick, but I guess Mexico might feel relieved in the sense it isn't. However, I think South Africa, either way, they'd have taken a set piece, and just before half time, this could be a good chance for them to strike back and get in the game. Either way, off the set piece.
I mean, that was a bit of a stupid shot from the South African man. Easy catch for the goalkeeper, not troubling him really. And now Mexico are probably just going to play it from out the back and see out the first half in this opening game at the FIFA World Cup in Mexico City. So, what are your thoughts on this opening half of the World Cup, Owen?
Yeah, I think Mexico was very strong early on, got the goal after a mistake. But it's been, to be honest, even in parts. I mean, South Africa haven't had many chances.
Here come Mexico! Here come Mexico! And cleared away. Go
on. Mexico have definitely had the chances at this game so far, but South Africa have hung themselves in there, and you know it's only a goal, and every point matters especially in these group stages this time around. So you never know. I don't know how long of added on time. I imagine it'd be 3 to 4 minutes due to the drinks break. So,
well, it still hasn't been shown on the telegraphic, but when we know the added time, we will let you know. Finish.
Yeah.
Mate. Sorry to interrupt.
If they can hang themselves in there, you know, nick a goal near the end, you know, a point's not too bad.
4 minutes added on.
So, I think South Africa, even though they did concede, I think they'll be content with the performance so far. Just as long as they don't concede within the next 2 minutes, which they might do.
Yes, Mexico are piling on the pressure here. They're obviously trying to take the home advantage and make it very, very effective. Sometimes this sort of stuff can go wrong, and you know the host nation can just capitulate for their first game at what is called their home ground. And again, the South African keeper is not letting it go out for a corner at all. Collected again. I think very, very tidy half from, I think it's Williams in goal for South Africa. And South Africa just really struggling to keep hold of the possession. Mexico are being relentless. Whenever they lose the ball, they're on the South African defence and midfield, and are struggling to ping it round. I say that, and that's a really good touch on the wing, and the Mexico defender sees it out. No, he doesn't. He commits the challenge, but it is not a foul, and he sees it out, and it is a goal kick. And that most likely will be the last action of this first half here in Mexico City. Thanks to everyone who has joined us so far on our first World Cup watch along here on the Hornet Talk podcast. We appreciate your support wholeheartedly, and we are so excited to bring you all the content from the FIFA World Cup across the tournament. We've got many watch-alongs coming your way over the next couple of days, so stay tuned on our social pages for all of those games. So the next games we will be covering on the Hornet Talk will be the following. So on Saturday night, we have versus Morocco at 11 o'clock. Here come Mexico, and that is a terrible shot from the Mexico midfielder. So as I was saying, we have Brazil on Saturday at 11 p.m. We then have Haiti, Scotland at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. And then we round off the double header for watch-alongs here on the Hornet Talk with Australia, Turkey at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. So it's going to be a relentless start to this World Cup for us here at the Hornet Talk podcast. And we hope to see you all on our watch-alongs going forward. We will try not to do so many early mornings, but it is in America. So, the kickoff times are dreadful. I'd have much loved it for it to be in England and the kickoff times to be nice to us, but that's never going to happen. So, what I am going to do... Owen, could you just take over for 2 seconds? Just introduce the half-time for me, please.
Yeah, so it is half-time. Mexico 1, South Africa 0. Like I say, it's been a pretty good half. I mean, for Mexico, for Africa, I think we'd be content. Other than the goal, I think that was a quite bad one, a bad mistake to make at this point. But we'll go to Luke. What was your thought on the first half?
Yeah, Mexico really looking to capitalise on that early first goal, but South Africa keeping them out, really. As you say, I think South Africa will be quite content with that first half. I think they'll be happy to get into the dressing room, get some advice off the manager, get some fluids on board. But as I said earlier in the game, the next goal is the most crucial one in the game.
Yeah. And what about you, Jensen? Now, how's the game played out for you so far?
So far, bar the goal, I haven't really seen much real deservedness for another goal. Mexico's goal has been the key point, really. Obviously, they've hit the post and the goalkeeper's made one or two good saves. Williams for South Africa, he's had to stay sharp to keep it at 1-0 and keep South Africa in the game. But really, it's been a bit stop-start. Obviously, the hydration break cuts the half. Basically, it makes it 4 quarters of football we play every game in this tournament because of the temperatures in America and the drinks break initiative of 3 minutes. But for me, I think it's been a really even game. It's been an enjoyable watch. It's set the standard high to start the tournament, and it shows that even though it's a game between two nations who on paper might seem slightly uneven, it's not been far from being a level contest, bar the goal in my eyes.
Yeah, thank you for that, Owen. So we have got a guest for this half time. So let me just bring him into the stage now. So we have former podcaster, Watford podcaster, Pidge joining us. Pidge, good evening. Can you hear us?
Yeah, you're right, boys. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Loud and clear, Pidge. Good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. I thought I'd pop on 5 minutes. I've been watching you boys and at the Mexico game the other side. So, yeah, well done, lads. It's getting better and better.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So for the World Cup, who are the ones to watch? And how do you think Germany will do overall?
Oh, Die Mannschaft will probably get quarters, I reckon. Obviously, I'm England. I hope England. I expect England to get the final at least. That's why the reason they brought Tuchel in, because Southgate's bonded the team together. Created good harmony within the camp. But Tuchel's they're hoping Tuchel will do like he did at Chelsea, where Lampard took him so far and then Tuchel took him to the next level. But easier said than done. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Like I say, for the amount of games I watch over with B4B and Dusseldorf and stuff like that, because most of my nan's side are from Germany, so obviously it was either Dusseldorf or B4B, and Dortmund are slightly bigger than Dusseldorf, put it that way. But yeah, I mean, looking at the teams, France have got the best squad. Personally, I mean, I don't know what you boys think about it. France, Portugal, Argentina will always be around there, but you never count the Germans out. And I know Voltemade ain't been brilliant, but if you've ever heard of Undav from Stuttgart and Mecha from B4B, he's a good player as well. But they've got Pavlovic, who's a good young player from FC Bayern München. Bauman's out, so Neuer's been called back in. I think Nagelsmann will put him in. So, yeah, you don't count them out. But, yeah, I think the semi-final, if it's done on form, it will be England, France, Spain, Argentina.
So you really think we're going to be up there this year?
Yeah. Like I say, I'm always hopeful. Like we all are. Typical England fans, we always expect the best, and we end up getting the worst. But I think the reason they brought Tuchel in is to take us to that next level. Okay, there's no real evidence that we've improved too much under Tuchel, but he's been around the block. He's managed many sides, and he's won a few trophies. So let's hope when it really matters, we can deliver. Yeah. I mean, you boys are quite young, mate. I'm an old boy now, mate, and I witnessed the 1990 World Cup, and that was shocking. It was heartbreaking. I was about 8 when that was on, so it shows me my age, mate.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No, you're not too old, Pidge. You're not too old.
No, just about, mate.
Yeah, I have. I have a lot of for England at this World Cup. I think that we are in danger of being in a scenario where we do go out in the group stages, and it's horrible that I say that, but it just doesn't bode so well. I don't think a German manager should be managing the English national team in the first place. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. The idea is as well is we can, the typical German system. You watch, I mean, like the Division 2, they're just attack. I mean, it's press.
Yeah.
Like the Wagners and stuff like that have come over. They press. Klopp, for instance, he did the same at Liverpool as he did at Dortmund and Mainz. They press, and that's what he's hoping they're doing, bringing the likes of Tuchel in so he can try and play a pressing game, something that Southgate tried to do, but in the terms of 90 minutes would never be able to do. So that's what I was hoping. But at the moment, we haven't seen exactly a lot of evidence of that. But like I say, when it really matters, that's all I'm bothered about.
Well, yeah, Thomas Tuchel is a tournament manager. Won the Champions League with Chelsea. Did all right at Bayern. It just doesn't feel, and I'm hoping to be proven wrong. To be proven wrong when Ghana. I think Croatia will beat us. Ghana will definitely give us a really, really close game. I think Panama again, we might struggle against Panama because, as everyone says, do not underestimate the small teams. We know it's the World Cup. Do not underestimate the smaller teams, the smaller countries. Like, as I said earlier on, like Haiti and countries like that, do not underestimate them at any point because they could shock the world. And as I said earlier, I think Haiti will finish above Scotland in the group. And once again, sorry, Owen. Being the Scotsman of the podcast, our Scottish reporter. While we're talking about Scotland, Owen, what are you going to be doing with us throughout the World Cup for Scotland?
So yeah, so obviously, as along with these watch-alongs, on the social media, so the TikToks and X will be, I'll be posting some reviews of the games, my reviews when the match ends, about a minute long, and just talking about what my opinion was on the match. Obviously, Scotland have got quite late games, 2 a.m., 11 p.m., 11 p.m., or all three against Haiti, Morocco, and then Brazil. And hopefully more. We'll see. But yeah, I'll be the Scotland correspondent. So, any other questions you guys would like to ask me about that on the Twitter and or X and the TikTok and stuff, more than welcome to. We should maybe do some friends and stuff as well. But very much looking forward to this World Cup. Scotland, like I say, is the first one since 1998. The first one in my lifetime. It's gonna be good to watch with my dad. But that's the reason why I've got really into Scotland, because I'm half English, half Scottish. Yeah, that game against Denmark is always going to live in my memory, and I'm looking forward to making new memories with my family this summer. Hopefully.
And do you see yourself supporting Scotland more than England, or is it very equal?
It's quite equal. People will probably say, you know, how and stuff, but that's the problem is I think with my family, I am my dad's side are all Scottish, my mum's side are all English, so I'm sort of cut in the middle. I mean, when they play each other, it's always a tough one for me. I probably edge a little bit towards England just because I was born here, but Scotland always has been a big passion for me and always have been, and you know, especially. I don't know if you guys would mention it, but in my opinion, Flower of Scotland is a much better national anthem than God Save the King. I think God Save the King shouldn't be an English anthem. It should be the British anthem, and England should probably use Jerusalem.
I agree, actually.
Because you look at the Queen's Games, for example,
They
use Jerusalem. So I think it's just, for me anyway, I think you should always differentiate. You know, God Save the King should be the English anthem, the British anthem, sorry, and then and then in the World Cup or the Euros, use something else.
Well,
Use them.
here's the debate. So, who has the better national anthem? I can't believe we're doing this tonight, but here we are. So, God Save the King, Flower of Scotland, or Ireland's Call. Now, I am English. But oh my God, Ireland's Call is a very, very good national anthem, especially in the rugby. Very, very good national anthem. Yeah, very good. So I think Scotland. Ireland's Call, I think is the best out of the three. But obviously I'm English, so I've got to like God Save the King. And we won't get into the political side of that. I am going to cross to Jensen because I understand he has got some breaking news about Wolves.
Yeah, I kind of saw this come up just as half-time stroke. Obviously, Rob Edwards has controversially lost his position as the manager there, and Kieran Trippier. However, from Peter O'Rourke on X, it is believed Kieran Trippier is considering cancelling his agreement to join the club as a result of the managerial change, as he is felt he's been misled by the club. Trippier still at Wolves does not kick in until July the 1st after leaving Newcastle as a free agent. So that would mean he's got the rest of June really to consider if he still wants to go there. And obviously it might cause some debate him cancelling his contract, but at the end of the day, it's personal preference. However, some shock news for sure, especially after him signing just a few days ago.
Yeah. Fully confirmed. Wow. That is that's actually mental, but it's good to see that Rob Edwards is failing. God, I hate that man. Judas Little. I'm not going to swear tonight. I'm going to be a good Samaritan. I'm not going to swear about Rob Edwards and what I think of him. Pidge, if you want to, you can. I'm not going to.
No. I say I actually felt sorry for him when he got sacked at Watford, but once he took over them, then yeah.
That's when you know he's a. Go on, Owen.
There's one thing Stevenage and Watford fans have in particular. We hate losing. So,
Yeah,
every time we shout,
that's at least good.
yeah. But it'd be interesting with Jimenez as well, because I think he signed Rob Edwards as joining. I think him will be a bit different though. I think due to him playing for Wolves before. But it is weird to me because they bring in Rob Edwards knowing they were poorly playing Championship football as well. It's like it's a bit stupid.
Maybe we don't know that for certain.
Yeah, but like they were never going to get out of that though. They were never going to get out of where they were. And I thought it was a smart appointment because he's a good Championship mate. He got Luton out of there. I know he got relegated the season after, but he's still, I think, a decent manager. He's Stu down Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely a wrong appointment. But the problem is, I don't think it backfired on them because I think if the squad would be too strong. So it'd be like them in 2018 or 2017 when they won the title, didn't they?
I am just gonna a few comments here from one of the great friends that we have of the Hornet Talk, Ryan Durham. He says, "I think Scotland will do okay. Scott McTominay is a class." There you go, Owen, a bit of a Scottish support for you. He also says, if England don't win it, I want the Netherlands to win it. God Save the King is a crap national anthem for sporting events. And then Ryan also said on the Wolves thing that it is the same with Raul Jimenez. Both cited Rob Edwards as reasons for joining. So there's a lot of turmoil, it seems. Sacking of Rob Edwards. They clearly wanted him to stay, which bit baffling. I don't know why anyone would and to stay at their club as the Mexico and South African players come out to start the second half game of the FIFA World Cup. So, Pidge, before we let you go, who do you think
I was about to say I was going to jump off because I don't want to hog your space. It was kind enough for you to let me on in the first place. So,
well, who do you think will win the World Cup?
my heart says England. My head says France.
You think France are going to do it?
Yeah, as much as Scotland hate England, fair play if Scotland get out of the group and do half decent. Fair play if you do. So I've got no hatred towards them. So yeah. I think France
well, thank
will
you so much for
France.
joining us today, Pidge.
Cheers, boys. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Pidge. It was a pleasure to have you on with us for half time. A bit of an impromptu guest there. As Mexico are on the counter-attack, shots and just over the bar from the Mexico player. That was a brilliant strike, and that would have been a great start to the a terrible bit of distribution from the South African goalkeeper, and just about because that could have easily been 2-0 to Mexico City. Well, a bit of a frantic start to this second half. Luke, by the way South Africa are going, what do you think the score will be come full time? Luke, are you there? Luke, are you with us?
Hi.
Are we still having connection issues? Hello, Luke, can you hear us?
Hello. Yes. Hi.
Hello, we can hear you. So, going by the way South Africa are playing, what do you think the score will be come full time?
I do think Mexico will get another goal and then they'll try and sit on it. So 2-0 maybe?
2-0? Owen, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree. I think the problem is, I think South Africa have looked all right, but again, they've got mistakes in them. That's what, twice now where they've, there's been miscommunication or the distribution's been really
That's
poor.
really, really good play from Mexico. And Mexico try and lob the keeper when there was an open option. Sorry about that, Owen. Finish your point, man.
No worries. I just think that, I think South Africa have a few mistakes in them. I could see it being 2-0, maybe even 3-0. So, yeah.
Jensen, what do you think the score will be come full time?
I'm getting less and less convinced with how South Africa are playing now. I thought they started on the counter well, but Mexico have just become too strong. They've grown into the game really quickly. And South Africa look prone to conceding another goal, and it's going to come early this second half. This could easily end 4-0. Mexico keep it.
I think I'm going to give you like I'm watching Sheffield Wednesday Coventry in a lot of respect. Let me just sort that out quickly. Let's just do that for now. Sorry about that. Yeah, it feels like we're watching Sheffield Wednesday Coventry in the sense that, just all over. And here they come again. Through on goal. Pressure from the defender. And I think that's penalty. Jensen, could that go down as a potential Dogzo challenge? Red card, Dogzo. First red card of the FIFA World Cup. Yeah, I thought that was a guaranteed red card. Jensen, what do you think? Do you think that was a red card?
Absolutely bang on. He's got that spot on to a T. The only thing they will check is an offside in the build-up. What we call this is
what a fitting name for the person to get sent off considering South Africa's performance. Sito. Yes, nice one. Sito is sent off for South Africa. Yes, South Africa. Go on, Jensen.
What I will say is they will check the offside.
Do you think it could be offside?
It's outside of the box, so it's a free kick. There's no doubt in that.
But it is a Dogzo challenge.
Everything about that is fine. All they can now check is if he's offside in the build-up. If he's offside in the build-up, then this is overruled. So if he's offside in the build-up, the red card gets rescinded, yeah? Yes.
Yeah. See, this is why we have a referee on the Hornet Talk. This is why we have a referee.
I believe it would have been made clear to us by now what the plan is, and I believe he's gone. Yeah, to be fair, it's not far from being a penalty kick, is it, either?
No. Do you think Mexico are going to whip this in and make it 2-0? Jensen?
Yeah, I think this is possibly planned for the top corner. I mean, it depends if Jimenez strikes it well, to be fair. South Africa have got a real challenge now. To have a red card 5 minutes into the half is going to be a long evening now. In my eyes.
It looks like it's going to be Raul Jimenez to take.
How many is that in the wall?
Raul Jimenez. In the wall. It's deflected off the wall. And a terrible, terrible shot from number 23 for Mexico. That is a god-awful bit of football there.
My word.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
That is a horrible shot. I think everything with that was poorly executed by Mexico. Jimenez has tried to thump it with power. That didn't work. Oh, that's gonna hurt. That's gone straight into his chest.
And it's gone out for a goal kick, and it has been taken by Williams, and non-surprisingly collected by Mexico. Mexico just looked very, very assured on the ball, and it is like we're watching a top of the league game against bottom of the league. Here come Mexico again in the box. Really good defending from the South African defender, and it's gone out for a Mexico corner just on 52 minutes here in Mexico City, and the Americans are having a jolly old time with a meals. Yes, that's what we're going to be seeing at this World Cup, isn't it? So the corner
a ton of
kick
celebrities, aren't
shall
we?
be taking place in a moment.
What I'm going to go back to, Caden, is your point. You didn't want to see red cards in this tournament. When it comes in the form of a
Yes,
denial of a goal scoring opportunity, is it more
I think
understandable in your eyes?
yeah. There's two scenarios where if a red card has to be given, a red card has to be given. Dogso, which is what just happened there, but also if you're going to go in and it's going to be a crazy challenge like Miguel Britos style, that's a red card no matter what, even if it ruins a game. But I don't think the red will in this game because both teams are going to want to go at each other. But I think South Africa might just sit back now and see it off, unfortunately. See off the loss and then go again for their next game. So we welcome back Luke Barras.
Yes,
Hello.
I do think Mexico will try and see it out now, especially given that red card. You know, they have two options here.
Do you think it was a red card challenge?
Yes, he's last man. It's Dogso. Let's be honest. If he doesn't make the challenge, it's 2-0 and that's game over.
Yeah, 100%. As I was just saying to Jensen, I think that the threshold has to be so high, and there's only really two scenarios where a red card should be given, and over the top and one back. Here comes South Africa, just going into the opponent's box, spread out to the wing to number 15 for South Africa. Again, I'm terrible with names, so if I'm referring them to numbers, I'm sorry. Collected into the midfield. They're trying to progress the ball, but Mexico are just kind of trying to see them out here. And South Africa are forced to go back. Here they come again. Number 20 again on the ball. He's been the flair of the South African team so far in this game. Other than that, South Africa haven't had much. And another long-range shot and easily collected by the goalkeeper for Mexico, Randall.
What I'm going to add...
Go on.
Sorry, Caden. Going back to the red card, because it's a denial of goal scoring opportunity, luckily it's only a one-game suspension for Sithole of South Africa. So he will only be absent for their next group stage game, which doesn't mean he's out of the tournament yet. Because denial of goal scoring offence is only a one-game suspension.
So let's see. So South Africa in their next group game after today.
But he will be absent for that one.
They will face Czechia. And the first substitution of this World Cup coming off the pitch for South Africa, Lyle Foster. Coming onto the pitch, number 5, Mbatha. So they're most likely going into a back 5 here, just based off that. Taking off a striker, bringing on an extra defender. As the thing suggests, probably just trying to see it out, knowing that they have lost and hit Mexico on the counter, and essentially just try and tire Mexico up, because all they're going to do for the rest of the game, Mexico, is counter-attack constantly, and that is going to be difficult to handle. But the South African manager has brought on another defender to go. And again, it's poor communication from the South African team. Again, Mexico are just picking the pockets here, and again South Africa have lost the ball, so they just cannot keep hold of possession at all. As soon as they get the ball is then dropped off to a Mexico player. It's like they don't know that Mexico are in green. They think they're all in yellow. That's what it feels like watching this game here.
Yeah.
So well, go on.
I was just saying about. I
Go on,
mean, with Mexico, I think South Africa, like you say, bringing on a defender, or midfielder, but bringing on a defensive player. They know this game's basically lost. But we know that 3 points could be crucial with good goal difference. So even if they see this out 1-0, even though they are really struggling to, they know how to pass the ball. That even if they lose 1-0 here, they've got an opportunity if they win the game to get their goal difference, and it won't take that much of a hit.
Mexico set piece, and it looks like the South Africans will have seen that out, and it goes for a Mexico throwing deep into the Mexico half. Giovanni Infantino watching on in the posh seats out in America, reining in all the money from all of the people to decide that they need to pay £20,000 for a World Cup ticket that shouldn't have been £20,000 or something ridiculous, because I believe it's 20,000 for the World Cup final, and Mexico are attacking with a lot of vigor now. They haven't really stepped off stepped off South Africa at all in this second half. Have constantly been on velocity, high intensity football, and I think this sets the precedent for how they're going to play throughout this Cup. They aren't going to be pushed around and smashed every week. They are going to put up a major fight in this tournament in their home country. So, with that, for South Africa, Jensen, how do you think? Oh, here come Mexico, and just gone out of the field of play. So, Jensen, for South Africa, do you think they would be happy with the game so far? Obviously, they're a bit of aggrieved by the red card, but do you think they're happy just to keep it at 1-0?
I tell you what, Mexico, they've had a lot of the ball again this second half, and they've had their chances to go and get another goal as South Africa's taking their time on this goal kick. Mexico have had their chance to go and get another goal, but South Africa have still looked solid at the back. They haven't looked like giving up their defensive chase. Obviously, they've brought on an extra man at the back, which has provided them with some more solidity. And I think if you look at the game and the way both sides have played, it's been more Mexico. Mexico have been dominant in the game, first half and up to now in the second half. So I think South Africa could definitely make a case to say that they'd be happy with a 1-0 scoreline, because it keeps their goal difference at a good level, and at the same time, it gives them signs of development for the next group stage games to come. So looking at it from an all-round balanced perspective on the game, granted, Mexico could have won this by more, or could be winning this, by more than the one goal. South Africa haven't looked bad at the back. It's just their attacking quality that probably, for me, needs improvement, and that would be the one thing they won't be happy with in this game. But other than that, I think...
Yeah, and another substitution.
Be happy.
Another substitution for South Africa here, coming off number 23, Adams, coming on number 11, Zwane. So they have 3 subs remaining. I quite like that graphic where it tells you how many subs they've got left. Mexico are still yet to make a change, I believe. Let me just double check on that one, just in case we have missed a Mexico substitution on 51 minutes in the opening game. So it's a bit of a frantic start. Red card that I think was very much nailed on. And as Pidge says into the chat, a good solid match. So it certainly has been a solid game to start off this World Cup. So let's go here. So do you think, on England, do you realistically think that we could play the World Cup without Jude Bellingham starting. Luke, what do you think? Do you think we have to play Jude Bellingham?
I think, in terms of the connection in which he provides to the squad, he's essential, really. I mean, we could play Rodgers in Bellingham's role at Cam, but I don't think he'd be as effective in linking up with Kane. It's you have to think. Well, Tuchel has played Bellingham and Kane together in all of these friendlies. He has to be looking towards Bellingham and Kane as that link up in central attacking midfield and striker. And I think it would be stupid for him, actually, to switch away from that.
Yeah. I don't think we need Jude Bellingham to start. If I'm being really, really honest with you, I think we could play it loads of different ways. You could do South Africa and just gone out of the field of play. They're a terrible. For number 20, he just couldn't get there at all, and the South African player is pleading to his player and asking him why he didn't get there. You can play the midfield in many, many different ways. For me, I wouldn't have it as attacking and have Jude Bellingham there. For me, my midfield three would be slightly more defensive, but it would work. So I would have Elliot Anderson in the midfield, just sat in front of the back four, and then Declan Rice and Kobbie Mainoo. I would not have Bellingham. And then on the wing, maybe Rodgers, but I'm thinking more Gordon. Gordon out on the wing. Because I know it's only Costa Rica, but I thought Gordon had a fantastic game yesterday evening and looked alive and ready to go. And I don't think we've seen that from Rashford in the two warm-up games that we have seen. Jensen, what do you think? Do you think we can play the World Cup without Jude Bellingham in the midfield, or do you think he's quintessential to our hopeful success?
Looking at it from a point of success, you say you want him in the team, considering his attacking output and what he can bring to an England side on his day. But obviously with the options we've got at this World Cup that can also play in that role, and the chance for Tuchel to maybe play a deeper system, as Mexico come forwards again here after losing possession back. With the chance to play a deeper system, I think you look at that in the games, maybe in the knockout stages of the tournament.
And first changes are being made for Mexico, coming off Guterres and Fidalgo, and coming on Luis Chavez and Mora, number 19 and number 24 for Mexico. Yeah. Sorry about that, Jensen. Go ahead.
It's all right. I think if you look at Rodgers, he's a good around footballer, but does he offer us enough attacking input compared to Bellingham? Not in my eyes. The wings are an issue, you could say. I'm not sure what Noni Madueke offers. I think Gordon, like you say, is who you start. And then you also have Saka, who can come in. But I think group stage, if we want maximum attacking output and we want maximum goals and ideally 3 wins out of 3, if it's possible, it probably won't, because it's England and we're never perfect in group stage games. We always seem to have that slow start about us. I think Bellingham could be important to getting us going early and providing us with hopefully an opening day win against Croatia and hopefully further successes before the knockout stages as well.
Goal for Mexico, and it's 2-0 in this game. I believe it was Raul Jimenez that goal to make it 2-0. A very, very fine finish there it looks like from, I think it is Raul Jimenez. I could be wrong, but we shall see on the replay and get full confirmation. And yes, it was Raul Jimenez that scored to make it 2-0 to Mexico City. A big goal on the opening day of this FIFA World Cup. Owen, could you take over for 2 seconds, please?
Yeah. Brilliant finish. Like I say, I think if Mexico have a good tournament, he's been part of it. Also, when Caden was talking about the substitutes, Gabriel Aurora come on, we talked about him earlier. He now becomes Mexico's youngest ever World Cup player at the age of 17. So congrats to Gabriel Tamora as Mexico take the lead, take a second goal into their lead. And Luke, this is probably game over, isn't it, for South Africa? Can you hear me, Luke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
Sorry. Just saying, obviously, 2-goal lead for Mexico. It must be over now, right, for South Africa's chances of getting anything out of this game.
Luke, are you still with us? Yeah, your connection keeps like dropping in and out at points. So.
Yes.
Can you hear us? Yes. Sorry.
I mean, I would say yes. I said at the start of the second half, next goal is crucial. And Mexico have got it. And I think they'll sit on it now. I think they'll settle for 3 points and being top of Group A on the end of the first day of the World Cup. It's a good header by Jimenez.
Yeah. Yes, very, very good header from Jimenez on the back post. The goalkeeper just utterly clueless, and the South African team just look utterly stunned. The jubilance from the Mexico City supporters. Mexicans, fantastic people, and they have got some brilliant fans. Ocha just looking on in utter confusion here as Randall is in goal ahead of him in his last World Cup, which again I think is quite harsh, but he could only be at the World Cup for a morale type of thing, but we shall never know. And South Africa are going to get the game underway once again very, very shortly. So just while we're waiting for South Africa to kick the game off again, Luke, obviously you work with the lower tiers and you recently moved to Substack. So, how's that going to work for you guys? And what would you like to say to the people listening about the lower tiers?
Yes, thank you. So the lower tiers is proven exposure for the EFL, and we aim to cover all 72 clubs, whether that be writers expanded outside their own range, covering new clubs, other types of articles as well. In terms of the move to Substack, it's a move that will see my team producing longer form articles. And the aim of that is to give a reader more quality. We think that readers and supporters of DFL deserve high quality articles, deserve articles that have been carefully constructed, and they deserve articles that aren't rushed. So often we see publications put out clickbait articles or articles that are rushed, and you read it and you think, well, why have you done this? And our aim is to move away from that trend and to give people higher quality articles that you can clearly see writers have actually put their time into.
Yeah, into making. And where in terms of Substack, where can people find the lower tiers? Because I understand Substack's a bigger site.
Yes, so people can find us at lowertiers.substack.com, or they can follow us and subscribe to us on our actual Substack page on the app, which is accessible. If you go into the search feature of the app and you search the lower tiers, it should pop up as your first option, and you click on it and you can subscribe for free, or you can subscribe for £5 per month, and that opens up more possibilities and gives you access
Here
to our
come Mexico, and that's
range
got
of
to be a
exclusive
penalty. I'm
content.
sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Luke. That has got to be a penalty to Mexico. Jensen, what do you think? Should that be a penalty, or do you think it's a bit soft if it's given?
I'm literally now seeing it. Hold on. Penalty.
I think it's reckless. I think it's reckless
Penalty.
and should be a penalty.
Yeah,
It's
I
a clear,
think so
clear
too.
shoulder.
Was it, for a moment, I thought it might have been an elbow.
The only thing there that saves him is that he's the right
He's not
side of
giving it.
Oh, that's weird. No, I don't. Looking at the replay from behind the goal, I don't know, you know. No.
Because I thought that was a penalty, and that's yellow. Got to be a yellow card.
No, that's fine in my eyes.
The South. Okay.
You look at that and you tell me where there's a foul in there. If you think there's an elbow, there's not. He's just physically defending. That's a foul. That is a foul.
Nico Nasani CC has been given a yellow card.
But go back to the penalty.
That looked like an elbow. The South African players are. Go on.
Going back to the penalty, I think he's defending in a natural way. He's obviously come across like that. Oh, hello. Yeah. I think for me the penalty, it isn't. Look, from TV live, that you think that's a penalty, but looking back at the replays from the different angles, I shouldn't say this, but the angle the referee's probably got is probably far better than what we saw from where we are looking at from the TV angle. And for me, it's natural defending.
I just think the motion, because it looked like a shoulder barge. It might just be a case of the South African defender was just stronger, but I think it'd be pretty. I think it was pretty harsh not to at least check the VAR with that one.
I think he steps across him.
And South Africa players are really just Again, I'm surprised that's not a foul, but it's because he won the ball and Mexico have won it back, and the referees penalised the Mexican midfielder. So South Africa are kind of just losing control of the game a bit here, as we enter a raft changes. So we have coming off the pitch for, I think it's Mexico taking off first. So off comes, I think that's Lyra. Off comes Lyra and Raul Jimenez. On comes Alvarez and Gonzalez. There is one substitution remaining for Mexico, 75 minutes on the clock. And we are about to see the change for South Africa. The Mexico changes look lively and ready to go. And the Mexico fans are absolutely loving it in the stands. Off comes Modabia and Reiners for South Africa. On comes... Here we go. On comes Apolis and Mac Gobber. There we go. So this is the... pronunciation section of the evening. When you hear me struggle to pronounce names.
Apolis alongside quite a...
Go on.
Patience. Yeah, Apolis alongside quite a large range of the South African squad actually plays for Orlando Pirates, who won the South African League last season. Scored 6 goals in 14 appearances in South Africa, so perhaps it's a move just to try and get one back and maybe it's just to try and get themselves back into this game somehow. But
Yeah.
I'm struggling to see how they can do it.
It's going to be very, very difficult to see anyway back into the game for South Africa now. I think as Jensen said earlier, I think as soon as the first goal goes in, it's kind of game over. Especially in this opening game. I'm hoping it's a frantic end to the game. South Africa come back, it's 2-2. Mexico score in the last minute, make it 3-2, and then my prediction comes right. But the likelihood of that happening is very, very, very slim. Owen, so far, who's been the standout player of this game?
I mean, I think Jimenez has done well with a goal and does a really good build-up play. I think he's definitely up there. I think you're also looking the midfield. I think he's sort of come off the pitch. He's come off the pitch now, but I was really impressed with the goal scorer for the first goal actually. In I think it's Canahays. That's a rubbish pronunciation. I think he's just coming off now actually.
And one more substitution for Mexico here.
Yeah. But he's really impressed me. Also, that goal he's
So coming off the pitch for Mexico, Quinones, and coming onto the pitch, Alexis Vega. Bear in mind, Alexis Vega is a very, very nippy winger. So it'd be interesting to see how he fares in the last 12, probably just over 12 minutes of this game. So we'll probably get about 4 minutes. Probably about 6 minutes added on at the end, the hydration break, and then the red card situation for the Dogzo challenge on the Mexico player, which was then not capitalised on. It was outside the box. It was a free kick. And the referee has pulled it back again. Jensen, what have you made of the refereeing performance tonight? Has it been a shot to the World Cup for the referees?
I think the processes have been good. I think at times, in the first half, what was he penalised there? Sorry. Someone's laughing at commentary in that.
Go on.
Have a look at this quickly.
So apart from one or two decisions, do you think he's had a... Go on.
I was just going to say he's had a really decent game, to be honest. But what he's just given as a foul, I'm not entirely convinced he's sharp with it again. He's been a lot of on the whistle. He's kind of had it at his own pace, which has broken the game up a little bit. I think the red card he's got spot on. The penalty instant we had slightly earlier on in the half, spot on again. I think at times people might have seen him counting down throw-ins with his hand up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a new rule. If you take too long a throw-in, you've got 5 seconds to take it at the referee's countdown, and then it's reversed. So that might catch a few teams out. And I think it at one point nearly caught Mexico out in the first half, as there's a man on the deck there, completely off the ball. However, I think the referee's been good. I think
that's just stupid from the South African player. Very, very stupid. That could have been perceived as an action of violent conduct because he grappled the face, but the referee not interested. And play will resume shortly. 80 minutes gone in Mexico City for the opening fixture of the FIFA World Cup 2026. It's going to be a long tournament, but hopefully a very, very good tournament. I'd say a good opening game so far, but let's hope it can add some last-minute excitement towards the end of the game. I think for Mexico City, they've got so much potential in this World Cup. They've got some fantastic players, as I said earlier on. Central defensive midfielders we've seen today, and he's going to VAR for something. I'm going to hand it over to Jensen for this one. Jensen, just take us through the VAR review.
I tell you what, I haven't actually got a clue what they're checking because my TV's being slow. The only thing they might
check possible red card, violent conduct.
I don't think so.
I said I think it's Yeah, because it's going to be a red card because the South player slapped the back of the head.
Slapped.
I haven't seen this.
So
on the
I think that's
angle.
going to be red cards.
I
So that
don't
will
want a
be
red card given for that. I actually
South
don't want a red.
Africa down to 9 men.
I don't want that.
I think
to
it
be a
will
red
be.
card.
I think it will be because it's a slap motion.
Is he just not trying to brush
It's
him
the only
off?
thing.
Though?
It's a slap. It's a slap motion. No, it's intentional. He intentionally pulls his arm round to slap. So I think it's going to be a red card.
Mhm.
I want to see. This angle might be better from my.
He's going to announce this
No,
to the
that's
stadium,
painful.
I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm happy to see that as a red card. Never mind. The angle was honestly diabolical. Let's hear what Wilton Sampow's got to say. Let me turn my TV up quickly. Camera, mate.
And it is a red card. Red card to South Africa. So South Africa are down to 9 men. At least I think he's given a red card.
Yeah, red card. Red card.
Yes, red card. Red card. So
I
South
would
Africa down to 9
What I
men
will
here.
clarify,
So they've lost control.
what I will clarify is that is a violent conduct red card. That is a 3-game ban by law. So that
3
is going,
games. So that's essentially his World Cup over.
That's essentially a World Cup over.
Within 8
And that's 2
And
midfielders
just
gone.
while we're waiting for... Is it 2 midfielders?
Yeah.
Christ. They're going to have no midfield.
So they only have 5
Go on.
midfielders.
No, it's not good.
They only have 5
They're
midfielders.
they're
They've only
gonna
had 2 of them
call-
sent off.
Yeah, they're gonna have to call some people up. I just want to bring this in, just for a moment. England today beat Miami FC 6-0 in their final practice match before the World Cup begins. Ungamoa scored, and his goal was also said to be from a breathtaking strike from distance. Should Ungamoa have gone to the World Cup, Jensen?
Yeah, I think he should have done. I know he's young, but the talent he's got, the quality he's got, the bravery he's got. He just seems such an exciting footballer whenever he plays. I watched the friendly in depth, really, against New Zealand, and that game was obviously, it was only 1-0 to England. There wasn't really much going on, but when Ngamoa played the whole second half, obviously he got man of the match from his 45-minute cameo, and I thought he was excellent. He really looked comfortable, considering it was his first time playing for England, and the fact he's missed out on a World Cup probably is purely down to his low level of experience at that stage.
Yeah, his youth has cost him the big chance of the World Cup, which is sad because I think Ungamoa would have been brilliant to take for the sheer reason that he's the squad. Yeah, teams know that Harry Kane is a fantastic player. They know that when you put a spanner in the works and you throw Ungamoa in, it then changes. It then completely changes complexion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we should have. I think we should have taken Rio Ungamoa. Luke, do you think we should have taken Rio?
I think you take players sometimes for the experience, and it does look like he's going to be a player for the future. It looks like he's going to be playing for England in future tournaments. I think it would have been beneficial just to take him for that experience. And if he gets on the pitch and does something, he gets on the pitch and does something. And if he doesn't, then that's fine. But I think the experience would have helped him more than leaving him out of it.
Yeah, really good refereeing there. I never thought I'd hear the day that I've agreed with every single decision that this referee has made tonight, bar a penalty. A really, really good bit of refereeing to. Oh my God, are they going to review this as well? They can't review that. No, of course they can't. Thought they were going to review another thing there because it was another like slap motion thing, but no, wave. And Mexico just popping the ball around in the final stages of this opening World Cup game and full match day one of the FIFA World Cup. Chavez just holding onto the ball, spread out to Mora back in round the back. So Mexico just trying to suss South Africa out, just them to get the third. So I think for Mexico, the rest of the game is just about trying to solidify the goal difference by the end of it, just in case the games against Czechia, Korea, Republic do not go to. So that should be. That was a bit stupid from the Mexico player there. Got fouled and then just laid over the ball just to try and draw a free kick from the referee. 88 minutes played here in Mexico City, and it is Mexico 2, South Africa 0. And South Africa are down to 9 men. Owen, where do you think this lack of discipline comes from the South African team today? Do you think it's just a case of frustration, or do you think it's just their way of playing, that it's a lot more physical?
It's probably frustration, I think, and maybe your nerves as well. I mean, especially with the first one, like at that point, you're just taking one for the team.
Yeah,
you know, you got to get like that's one at the end of the day. Like he's gonna score. You know the old classic. You got to get your man. You got to get the man or the ball. The man or the ball can go past you, not both. And
yeah,
he made sure that today. But the second one is stupidity. You know, you're in a World Cup. You know there's VAR, and you get frustrated and you slap someone, and now your tournament's done. Probably, like most likely, your tournament's done.
yeah.
You know,
Really good challenge from the Mexico midfielder there.
But you know, this could be an only chance to play at the World Cup. You know, your biggest sort of bit of your career, your biggest stage you'll ever play at, opening game of a World Cup, millions if not billions watching, and you slap someone. You know, it's something that's, that's, I don't like to use the word a lot of the time, but this might be the first time a lot of people have watched Africa football for a while, and that could be someone's opinion of it. So he's let himself down, he's let his country down, and unfortunately, it's just how it is.
The fourth official has indicated there'll be a minimum of 7 minutes of time added on at the end of this second half.
Where's he pulled seven from?
7 added minutes.
Where's he pulled 7 from?
The 2 VARs, 2 red cards.
The goal.
The hydration break, the goal. So I thought it'd be about 7. There we go.
I'd say 5.
So,
I'd say 5 maybe.
No. Well, I think 7's just pain for the South Africans. If
to be fair, it has been a broken up half.
And here comes South Africa. Here comes South Africa number 20, and that is the biggest dive you will see all week. That is the biggest dive you'll see all week. That is not a free kick. That is a dive.
Well,
I still haven't seen
Jensen,
this yet.
do you think that's a dive? Red card! Red card! Mexico!
Oh.
Is he sending him off for that? No!
3 red cards!
No!
I don't think that's a red.
No!
How was he given a red card? No, that's the first disagreement of the night. How is he given a red card?
No. Straight away, you look at that and think, where's the direction going? As a referee, you get told, Dogso, the D stands for direction. He's going, the touch takes him. Tell you what, it's a foul, though. Tell you what, it is a foul.
It is a foul. It is a.
It's going away from goal.
It's a foul. It looked like a dive. It looked like a dive. Luke, on the FIFA rankings, do South Africa face compared to Mexico?
So South Africa 60th in the FIFA rankings going into the tournament. Mexico 45 places above them in 15th.
Wow. Bloody hell, Mexico 15th.
That's
15th on the FIFA rankings. That is mental numbers.
Correction. They're 14th.
I don't know how that's a red card, if I'm being honest. Oh, they're 14th. Who's 15th?
Let's find out. Senegal.
Senegal. Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. I tell you, today I do think that the referees kind of lost the game now. Now there's 3 red cards.
I
don't
couldn't
know
agree
why
more
you
with
have to
that.
give 3 red cards in a game. The 2 South Africa red cards, spot on, both reds. But that Mexico red card, I really, really don't understand how that is a red card offence. I thought it looked more like a dive. A really, really interesting free kick routine from South Africa. It was just very, very well snuffed out by Mexico.
I don't think so.
Cleared out back in
One of the worst free
possession
kicks
of
I've seen
Mexico.
in a
It's a
row.
throw-in. Yes, it was pretty terrible. Was it?
That's Mexico's
That's
captain
pretty
that's just been sent
terrible.
off. Montez is
That's
the captain.
It's such a wrongful red card. It feels like an English player's been sent off. That's not a red. No chance.
I'm going to
just
come in.
News the beef I have with referees.
Thanks, Caden. Appreciate that. I'm going to come in and add my bit. I think.
What were
for
you going to
where
say,
it
mate?
is- For where it is,
Oh,
he's
that's
level
cool.
with the rest of the back line. It's covering defenders. The touch is slightly heavy, and the direction is, I guess you could possibly say, it's in between going to goal and going away from goal. It's a hard one to tell where the ball's going to land off the touch. So in a sense, it could be a red card. But I think the covering defenders that are there and the fact of how the challenge is, I don't think that's a goal scoring opportunity. I really don't.
No, I don't think it's Dogso either.
I
Is that a
think
one-game ban for
that will only be a one-game
Mexico
ban.
captain?
So he will only miss their next group stage game, which I imagine will be against South Korea.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That is harsh, to be honest.
Could they appeal it?
They could appeal it, I guess.
Yeah,
But
it's
is
street, so they could, yeah.
Is it worth it for one game in a group stage when you've already got 3 points on the board, and if you probably win one more game, you're guaranteed to pretty much top the group? You could say yes if you want your best players on the pitch, but I think, I don't know. I don't think it's a correct red card. I stand firm on that, whereas the other 2 were. To see 3 red cards in the first game is pretty outstanding. The one thing I do give the referee respect for is that he stood with his decisions and he's been firm with his decision making. It's been consistent and it's not been to a lack of inconsistency. He's been pretty spot on what he's given throughout the game. So that's the only thing that I will say to him. The only thing that really does shake it up is controversial red card for Mexico. But
It's the first time there's been 2 or more red cards in 20 years. The last time it happened was 2006.
What, for opening ceremony?
For a World Cup game altogether, 2006 was the last time there was 2 or more.
That is
Do we know if this is the most red cards we've had in a World Cup? Must be there.
Pardon?
Be there.
The most amount of what red cards in a World Cup game. It must be up there, surely.
Just before the game starts,
There we go.
and it's full time for the opening game at the FIFA World Cup. Mexico 2, South Africa 0. South Africa went down to 9 men. Mexico went down to. And we say hello to the Watford Way in the chat with a laughing emoji. Well, that is job done for Mexico in this opening game. We, as the Hornet Talk, will be back on Saturday night for Brazil versus Morocco, followed by Haiti, Scotland, followed by Australia, Turkey, all in the same night. So be sure to join us for all of that very, very soon. Thank you so much to my co-hosting team, Owen Miles, Luke Barras, Jensen Long. Owen has been with us since the start of the World Cup campaign. Was on the predictions live and is fantastic. Jensen has made his Hornet Talk debut this evening along with Luke. Barras, thank you so much for stepping in at the last minute to help us out today. It's been a pleasure to have you on the Hornet Talk. And that is the end of today's watch along. So thank you all so much for watching today. And we will see you on Saturday night at 10:45 p.m. for the start of a triple. It is Brazil versus Morocco. See you on Saturday. Up the World Cup. Bye-bye.